We're feeling really, really good. They had a lot of fun in Morgantown last 2 years ago, and I think we've had a lot more fun this season just because there's been more certainty. We only had one meet canceled, and but the meets we did have were a lot of fun, and that's one thing we've really tried to focus on this year, is just like having fun and swimming free and really kind of enjoying the process. And I think that that's shown just like in the way in our performances, but also just like the attitude and effort that they've like throughout the season, I guess.
Hey, Carol, I'm curious when, you want to peak at NCAAs, but you want to swim really well this week. And you want to swim really well in the regionals. How do you kind of manage all that so that you're peaking at the right time, but you don't want to dial it down for Big 12? How do you handle that with these ladies?
I mean, I think like communication is an art, and we talk about it all the time about people use it against us sometimes recruiting, just like our conference, and other conferences are faster and have more depth. But I think it's a luxury as long as we're staying in the Big 12 for the next couple of years. Like it is a luxury to be able to like swim free and just like swim it. It's not a home crowd, but like we're gonna have a lot of fans and family there. And for the people that have already qualified for NC2As, they're using this as kind of a final tune-up and a way to learn more about their races and really just support the rest of the team to get more people to meet. So I think our focus is in the right place. And, I mean, Eddie's done it for the last, 20 years, like put the focus on the NC2A meet. And I think I've learned a lot from him along the way, just like how to swim really well and do things right, but then also make sure that our best performances are in 3 weeks. So.
What does that look like and sound like to you, that sense of urgency?
Wait, does he say that we have a sense of urgency, or the diving team does?
He said both. He said both.
Yeah,
and he said they look very different.
There is Matt is a very hardworking, driven individual. And I think we are as well. We kind of cultivate that if that's not what you're about. Like I talked a lot about having fun, but I mean, within having fun and swimming free is where it's in the guise of like swimming towards like peak performance. And so we look over there and they're just knocking it out. They're in at 6 a.m. when we are. Matt's in every afternoon from 1 to 5. So like you can't have a contest on like who's working harder, right? The diving program and the swimming program. And I think that's a cool way that we have learned to support each other is, like we have people going to world championships and Olympians, and Matt has Olympians and people going to world championships and international meets. And I think that is the beauty of our program. And I walked in on the tail end of his talk about, just how nice it is to compete as a team, maybe working with each other. There aren't many programs in the country that really compete as a swimming and diving program, right? And so we value our diving program a lot, not just for the points, but for the people and what it means just to have really amazing athletes. So yeah, thank you.
That number 2 ranking, obviously is attached to your name. How do you keep that as, pressure, motivation, however you want to attack it?
It is, I keep it in perspective. That number 2 ranking is the dual meet ranking, but really in swimming, that's all we have until the championship season, right? So if they were going to do a ranking after conference, maybe we'd see something different, but it does show us that we can race, if we have a dual meet against any team in the country, race the number 1 team this year, Virginia, number 2 at NC State. And we had great meets against them both. So I think it keeps us honest of like where we stand throughout the year of how we're performing. But then it also, at the end of the year, like the dual meet rankings never really line up with the real rankings, but our goal is to be on the podium and getting a trophy. And so it keeps us honest that way. So.
And what do you do this week to get back on the podium for 9 straight?
we just keep us looking forward. This afternoon's kind of our last practice before we head off tomorrow, and just keep things light, keep things positive. We know that no meet's ever perfect, but I think just having short memories and I I think we're in the best time just competing really as a whole team. Like how many extra people can we get qualified for NC2As that aren't qualified right now, and just bringing like the biggest team that we have for a while to NC2As. So.
I know every team's different, but what's different about this team for you this year?
I think we've just had a lot of growth. Our freshmen from last year, you know, they had to learn how to compete, you know, in a pandemic, not really having any meets, having fake meets, and no people in the stands. And the way that, you know, whether it's Emma Sticklin or Olivia Bray, Kelly, like not just our freshmen, like those freshmen, but Kelly Pash, our juniors, like our seniors, just the way that they've grown this year and learned how to get better after last year, I think is, I mean, that's all we're really looking for at the end of the day, is like, how do we get better? But we're really looking for that growth. And I think that's what gets me up in the morning. Like, that's what keeps me happy doing what we're doing, just having them learn. Like, it's exciting working with people that are this like passionate about getting better. So.